You have Verizon or AT&T or T-Mobile?
I have AT&T, and they did that plan. I don't know. I think it's called AT&T Next, where it's like buy one get one free as long as you make all your payments on time. So I was like, oh, let's just upgrade me and the wife. And,
yeah, bro, they gave me $870 for
your other
this phone.
Yeah, there's such a. Oh, here we go. Okay, what's the ad today? It's for Messica.
It's a beautiful phone, nice little background.
way better background. Honestly, way better background.
Dude, it's such a beautiful picture, bro. How do you deny it? The Elon fans, I'm jealous of you guys. You have so many pictures of Elon.
I just take every once in a while he'll upload a picture of Starship taking off or like a booster or some shit. And I'm like, yeah, thanks for the wallpaper.
Right? It's like,
yeah.
Gives you perfect.
No, look, my wallpaper now. Hold on, let me hide my alerts.
I also am upgrading from iOS.
My wallpaper right now. Everybody knows this.
Oh yeah, this is the good. Yeah, this is a good one.
The Grogu dude made that one. I get so many comments on it too. Like seriously, like people will see it at the office here. They're like, "Yo, that's dope!" Like, who did that? I'm like, "Oh, some guy I knew."
And he just put it into an AI app, and there's so many of them.
Midjourney. I think he did it on Midjourney.
Oh yeah,
on Discord. He did it at Midjourney. Let's look at the chat. How's everybody doing today?
How are you all doing? Johnny says, Amit put a background of KRIS and casually show it during the show. I should do that. Or VITALY.
Like, right, it just happened to like show your phone. Hi, Kelly. How you doing?
Why is Kelly saying hello to you and not me?
Because she likes me better. I mean, it's clear.
Like that's just kind of rude.
It's the white shirt day. Who wore it better? I mean, come on, look at this.
You see this? You see this little
Get out of here. Noodle arms.
I don't got a Glock on me, but I got some guns, if you know what I'm talking about.
Tickets to the gun show, okay?
Tickets to the gun show. I guess it's like the pre-show until the other guys get to work on time.
Brad, I love seeing your new artwork. If everybody doesn't know, he does a lot of pretty cool art. I'm waiting for him to do the finance junkies.
I just saw Vitaly's message. He might not make it.
Blood pop.
So Vitaly.
I think one of his kids is in some sort of a tournament. Football or something.
That's where you're right. They're
getting caught up.
And KRIS
Sam Solid says use shirtless Tanner as your background. That'd be funny.
Apple needs to send some money to admit he's talking about the iPhone. Bro, if I'm Apple's marketing, they have a much bigger problem. So.
I would be that guy. That's a funny comment. Kelly said, "You have water guns, huh?"
Wow.
And she's like talking to someone who would know.
Wow.
How has the gym been going? How has it been for you now that you are routinely hitting the gym? How has that changed you?
It's good, bro. It's like it's second nature. It's 1,000 calories, either 700 to 1,000 calories every session. Easy, not complaining about it. Being going to the sauna, that's been really good. 20 minutes pretty much every other day. Lifting 25-pound bicep curls. That's the main lifting I do. I haven't graduated above that yet. But I do about
do the machines.
Yeah, I do. I don't know what they're called, but I do a bunch of machines. I don't know what they're called, but I do like 5 sets of 10 every day on those.
Are you trying to lose weight or you want to build mass?
Dude, I'm down 30 pounds. I lost 30. So I went from
you want to be jacked?
No, I went from 177 to 147. I want to get to 140. That because I still have a little bit of a belly at 147. So I just like it's not a belly like it was at 177, but it's not flat like I want. I want that shift. So I know another 7 pounds and it'll be fully flat. Because I want a 6-pack. That's what I really want, a 6-pack.
To get the 6-pack, it's more about what you eat than...
No, 100%. I've been eating great, bro. The past 5 months, I've been eating like the best I've eaten my whole life. What's up, Chris?
That's the thing. The key to those abs is the food. I got to take some of my own advice because where I'm working now, they feed us, but it's not necessarily the best food, so it's really hard.
What do you eat every day?
It really depends.
Like burgers?
No, not burgers and stuff. But it's food that they'll make, but it's like food truck stuff.
But it tastes good though every day. You get some good food.
It's okay. I mean, honestly, there's some days that I don't really eat that much because if we don't like the food, we just don't eat it. But today I asked my wife to make this like thing of like wild rice that she makes. You guys have seen me eating it here. It's got like chicken and chorizo in it, a lot of veggies. So I'm gonna bring that into the office today, and we're all just gonna chow down. You know.
Yes, what's your guilty pleasure food? What's your guilty?
You got to connect your mic, Chris.
Your mic is fucked up.
Oh, hold on.
Guilty pleasure food. That's a good question. Put in the chat. What's your guilty pleasure? I think I already know mine. I have a couple of them. One of them is Cheesecake Factory, Reese's cheesecake. That's one of my huge guilty pleasures, bro.
I mean,
It's one of the
I would
best
say
cheesecakes ever.
peppermint patties.
Ew, bro.
I could
You're
eat my
eating
body weight.
chocolate toothpaste. That's what you're
I
eating,
can't.
bro.
I can't. If I see them, I have to eat them all. And they
You
have
like,
them.
You
They
like
have a
chocolate
little.
toothpaste. That's what you like.
I can't get enough of it. I just.
I don't get how
cannot.
someone eats mint
It's
chocolate.
the
I don't
best.
get it.
I don't know why. It's the best. It's the
I don't
best.
get it.
They have a little craft services table there, and sometimes they have the peppermint. Yeah, peppermint patties.
Oh my god,
fire,
Twix is
bro.
way better than that. Goodness
No,
gracious.
They have Twix there. No.
Hot Cheetos and crumble. I've never had. I mean, I've had. I never bought it. My sister bought it once, but I never have been big into crumble cookies.
So there's two things for me. One is a chopped cheese, like in New York City. I don't know if you guys had a chopped cheese, but chopped cheese.
Yep.
But my main guilty pleasure, anytime I'm in the city, I gotta go to the fucking chicken and rice cart. Like
wait, chicken and rice or lamb over rice? Which one do you get?
No, I get chicken and rice.
I get lamb over rice. Okay.
I get chicken and rice with a good amount of white sauce, maybe a little bit of red sauce.
Tzatziki.
And yeah, but let me tell you, boy, that shit is bad. Like you could even tell, like the dudes are like sweating, making this shit, and it's just like it's disgusting. How
you're
they
gonna take a
prepare
massive shit in a couple hours after.
When I worked in Midtown,
really good. Yeah.
When I worked in Midtown on 51st and 8th, there was a food truck, not a food truck, like one of those shawarma carts. And the guy had the best gyros in the city. I mean, the best. I would eat that every day. And you can't, the thing is, I have looked, you can't get that taste in LA. I actually really
100% you can't. The
to
halal
me,
carts
to
in
me,
New York
it's
are
as the meat carts in Midtown Manhattan are as superior as like New York pizza is.
100%. 100%.
I don't know. I almost don't want to know what's in it. Maybe it is. Maybe it's the forehead sweat and like the elbow skin and the eyelid juice. I don't know what it is, but I almost don't want to know what's in it.
If you ever go to India, right? There's this thing called pani puri.
Yep.
Right? That is disgusting. That's like worse.
But it's
than
great.
That. But
is that the stuff that I see on my Twitter feed? It's like how they make street food in India, and it's like the guy's just cooking. There's flies jumping in,
and then you just eat it all at once, and it's
what? Oh god, damn it! What is that?
Funnel cakes. Wait, so if you had to pick between like sweets as a guilty pleasure or like actual food, what would you pick?
Savory. I'm more a savory guy.
Savory.
I'm not a sweets guy.
I'd probably go sweets, but
I have a sweet tooth, bro. It's bad.
It's only because I can think of more guilty pleasures on the sweet side than the savory side.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. Baba's saying the best gyros in New York are in Astoria at BZ Grill. Okay, I haven't.
Astoria is amazing.
But then again, have you tried the ones in Midtown? We sitting at. I mean, people on 50th and 8th. There's just people sitting on the floor eating them like they're homeless people because they're so damn good. People in suits sitting on their briefcase eating this thing right on the street. Like,
I still remember the original halal guys. Like we used to drive from Stony Brook like an hour, 2 hours to the city, and it's on 53rd and 6th. That's where in my opinion, I think that's where it started. And there's just this one cart, and if you go there every night, there was a fucking line. Anytime you went clubbing, anytime you went,
it's near the Starbucks. I know which one you're talking about. It's the one it's the same one.
Right across the Hilton.
Yep,
right across the Hilton.
I went there. Yep, senior year or junior year of college. Yep, at like 2 a.m.
I remember at Rutgers they had what are they called? Fat trucks or food like something like that.
Fat burgers. Yeah, they still have them.
Yeah.
The trucks, yeah.
Interesting.
All right. Well, now that we're all hungry and I can't eat because I already had my one meal of the day, and
I'm not eating till 9.
I've got to watch ASMR videos for food now. It's actually a hack. If you're hungry and you can't eat, you watch ASMR. Zach Choi on YouTube. Watch that motherfucker chew down some food and go to sleep. You're good to go.
I don't know, dude. I find some of these guys disgusting. Like the mukbangs. Oof.
Nah, bro. I got to show you guys this real quick, bro. Zach Choi, the way he eats.
It's like Zach Choi, yum yum, gang gang.
No, he started this in 2019, bro. I showed my aunt this, and she thought I was legitimately like special when I showed her this. She was like, "How are you watching this?" And I'm like, "How do you not watch this? Like the dude's eating with these hypersonic mics and shit attached."
Dude, read some of these comments, man. They're freaking amazing.
There's some good comments.
Cow tongue dipped in lemon juice.
Let's take a second and admire the quality of these chats right now.
Look at this shit, bro. Look at that sound. Look at that shit.
This is a mukbang, man.
Down. Look at that. Now he's about to take a bite of the burger. Here we go. Oh, Yeah, there we go. There we
Ew,
go.
man.
That's what I'm
sounds
talking
bad.
about. That's what I'm talking about. That's what you hungry? Just want to watch a little bit of that. Go to sleep.
Man,
you're good to go.
everyone. I
I feel
suppose
like I
everyone has
told
their
you-
kinks.
I
Everyone
feel like I
has their
told you that
kinks,
story. There was a guy I used to make a lot of movies when I was a kid. We were 15 years old. Instead of like running around the streets, we were making movies. And the guy that I would talk to all the time was this like Chinese guy whose parents owned like they owned like a grocery store, like a corner store. And every time I would talk to him, he'd be eating something, and it was always this like slimy fucking Chinese food. But it sounded so. I was like, "What are you eating?" It was like that. This guy could have had a channel. It's just like this slimy Chinese food he'd eat, and I would not eat it if it was in front of me. But it just like you, it was like it just sounded so delicious. The way
speaking of that, the thing I cannot stand watching people eat, and I will legitimately, I'm not lying, I will throw up if I smell it or I see it eating. Like if McDonald's messes up my order or something, I say nope, you gotta take it back. If there is 1 centimeter of mayonnaise on anything that I order, I will throw it back. I will not eat it. I don't care if I waste money. I cannot eat it. Can't do mayonnaise. Just can't do it.
I am with you 100%.
Just can't do it.
Both
I'm
of
with
y'all
you.
suck, dude. I love mayonnaise.
Dude, I don't get how
Horrific.
people eat mayonnaise, bro.
It's
I don't
disgusting.
get it. Don't understand
disgusting.
it. Like,
I'll
I
make a
can't do
sandwich
spicy mayo on
next time.
sushi because it's kind of mayo. Like even if it's spicy,
No, I won't
that's
eat
how
it.
bad I am, bro.
Listen, but that's like a taste bud. It's like the bitter taste bud. Like anything with like vinegar, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't.
Did you guys know that there's actually a genetic condition where cilantro tastes like soap? Like if you have this specific gene, if you eat cilantro, one of my wife's friends has it. It's weird. Like, so she's like, ew, cilantro. And I'm like, bro, cilantro is delicious. She's like, no, it tastes like soap. I was like, cilantro does not taste like soap, but apparently there's a gene that has that. So
these people are the devil. I dip my fries in mayo.
I've
And people are like, oh, I put mayo and ketchup together. Bro,
mix the mayo and ketchup.
disgusting.
Yeah,
No.
you people need to be put in the food blender.
In the food blender. That's what we got to do.
All you mayo lovers,
that's
into the damn
reserved.
food blender.
That is reserved for rapists and drug dealers.
Yeah, but
man.
there's
And
those
people
people.
eat
There's
mayo.
those people, and right under those people are these mayo loving.
All right, then you're gonna have to put me in the smoothie blender too, because I love
in the
mayo.
blender. You're going in the blender.
All right, let's transition to stock. Some people might want to get into the blender today after owning this stock. Carlos, this is your segment.
You do 5 year or max. Yeah, I feel bad for this company. They're just going to continue. There was a great article today. Gary Black posted it. It was by Bloomberg, I think. You might even want to look at it. Maybe read a little bit of it. It was called "Where is the competition?" or "When is the competition coming?"
For Tesla.
Yeah, because it's been this narrative that we've been hearing for over 5 years, and they're saying just even in recent earnings, and wait till the end of this month when you see GM, Ford, and Stellantis report. Who knows? I mean, if they come out with some crazy shit and they beat, then they're going to rally like crazy. But
so first off, do you think Rivian deserves to be down 20% after raising 1.5 billion? Like,
I mean, deserves? That's that. Pick a different word.
Is it reasonable? I guess is the question.
Yeah, I think so, because
Why?
Right now there's people, because this company is not.
Because by the way, just a caveat, a lot of people in the fintech community, including Chicken Genius, said Rivian will outperform Tesla over the next 12 months.
Okay,
like, there are people that are very bullish on Rivian.
Okay, but what they're talking about is the stock price. What they're saying is that at its market cap, it has a potential, right, of outperforming it on the stock side. But does that mean that the company's in better shape? The company still needs to be profitable. They're still losing about 30 grand or something on each vehicle. It might even actually be more. So the idea of whether it deserves or not, well, no, but that's what happens when you play with these stocks. If you're talking about a stock that should outperform Tesla, right? Which, I mean, right now, if we get a 2x in Tesla, what does that put us at? A $1.6 trillion market cap, a 3x from there, and now it's that market cap of Apple. Okay, so with that, I would expect a little bit more stability. But Rivian, man, I mean, they're not making any money.
Yeah, I'm glad that question was right there, because that's the first thing I said. Like, why are they raising capital? They have 10 billion in cash right now. Like, makes no sense.
They're building something out. What are they building out?
Wait, they have 10 billion in cash?
I don't think they have that much in cash. I thought it was 5 billion.
Yes, 9.26 billion in straight cash right now.
So then they have a good runway. They've got at least, that would probably be 2 to 3 years worth of runway.
Yeah, they've got 4 billion in property, but they've got literally almost 10 billion in cash. I mean, put up that tweet by Gergovin.
what's the operating income? Like, how much are they spending, and how much do they need
No,
to
it's
continue to
fine.
spend?
They have it. They have more than enough, right? Now, Rivian currently has 10 billion in
Oh, I'm
cash,
sorry. Yeah, it was
but will burn
Lucid.
over 16 billion through. Okay, that's why
That's the
through
problem. That's what I'm saying.
2027.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that's what it is.
profitability.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Lucid had 5 billion in cash. Rivian did have more, and they have the backing of Amazon. I'm sure Amazon will continue to support them. And
Did
honestly,
Tesla
I think
ever do
that's
something like
probably
this?
the
Where
biggest-
No.
Say what?
No, that's the problem though. See, if Amazon, I'm sure that they could get like something like a term loan from Amazon, but if they're
should.
going into the public markets right now, no, I don't think that's the case. I think Amazon right now is doing a lot of soul searching. They're not willing to invest a lot of money into different things. If you look at big tech right now, right? Like Google, Microsoft, Amazon, Meta, every one of them is in an operating income binge right now where they are all doing cost cuts, regardless whether or not they're already making money. Like, look at Google right-sizing the ship right now. Look at Amazon. Amazon has cut back so many employees, so many things. So no, I mean, these companies do not like seeing their stock prices languish because a lot of their employee SBC is directly tied to their stock prices. So no, I don't think that Amazon is going to give Rivian an unlimited runway. They're going to say, no, you need to operate like a business and do what you need to get that done. So,
Well, but as much as Amazon, if Amazon is leveraging their own last mile delivery fleet on Rivian, it's in the best interest. It's protecting an already existing asset. The last thing you want is some problem in your fleets or a recall or some issue to happen, and it's going to be affecting a larger percentage of your fleet. I don't know how much of their fleet they've switched over. It might only be like 5.
oh wait, well, hold on a second, man. This is I've been sleeping all day. This is the problem. So they're doing a convertible debt offering. Okay,
Yeah.
that's not that bad. That's not.
It
that
dropped
bad.
20%. The market didn't like it.
Yeah, because it does. Because it's future. It's dilutive. But Tesla did the same thing. If you guys remember, you know, the way
But Tesla also didn't have a Tesla to compete with. That's the difference. Like now, all these companies have Tesla to compete with.
So let's explain to everyone what a convertible notes are, because I think that's a little bit important. So
what
convertible
Arcimoto did the same thing.
Convertible notes are bond instruments, so they're debt instruments that you issue out at a fixed amount. So like right now, Rivian plans to offer a $1.5 billion worth of senior unsecured green convertible notes due 2030. That means that right now, the company is doing a cash raise saying, look, we have the ability right now to raise 1.5 billion and we're going to do it through debt. So what they're doing is issuing this debt. But unlike traditional, just regular corporate debt, this one is a convertible debt, which means that at some price, each one, like if you hold any of the convertible bonds, you can convert them into shares at any given time in the future, right? Doesn't matter when. You could do it, 5 years from now. You could do it 50. I mean, not 5 years. Sorry. You can do it now. You could do it tomorrow. You could do it 6 months from now, whenever. But those convertible notes convert at a specific price. Now, usually what happens with convertible notes is that you typically are going to hold it until it goes like this. The price goes beyond your target stock price. So what ends up happening is it's almost like buying a long-term call option on Rivian. And at the same time, you're going to get an interest from that. So you have to look at what the interest rate is on this bond.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well,
Yeah.
markets didn't like it, but
This is what you get when you invest it. Rivian is still somewhat of a speculative play. There's no guarantee that they're going to make it. There's no guarantee that they'll be able to do much more than the
Dude, Chicken Genius loved him, and he was the biggest Tesla bull. So
that's fine. I mean, listen, that's fine. There was somebody, I don't know, I was responding to someone on X about this. I don't think we're really going to understand what Rivian's true demand is until Cybertruck is released. What does that do to their existing orders? Like, I know some people that wanted a Cybertruck saw that the waiting list was crazy, bought an F-150 instead, right? Or put in an order for a Rivian. In hindsight, I should have probably just put a reservation on all of them and seen. But if I would have done that, I probably would have had a Rivian by now. Would that be the vehicle that I want long term? No, I would probably then try to sell mine as my Cybertruck order was coming up. So that's what I think we really need to know, because right now they're one of the only players on the market. If we see their numbers go up, their reservations go up, or their deliveries go up, when Cybertruck is already out and they're able to fill like mass production orders, then you know that the community is real. But if you start to see, like we saw with the F-150s, all of a sudden a bunch of these flooding Carvana, when the Cybertruck launch is announced, that's a problem. That's telling you that these were interim vehicles that people were buying and waiting for a Cybertruck. And right now we know that there's over 2 million Cybertruck pre-orders.
So is that Cybertruck happening this year, or what's going on? Because
I mean, I haven't heard any change in guidance. I'm looking forward to that to see. We should maybe even
live. Well, earnings is on the 18th. So
yeah, maybe we should even see. They have to ask them about that. I mean, and Elon said something about the first Cybertruck deliveries would happen in October, which would go to employees. So that should happen at some point this month. But I haven't seen people posting like invitations or anything to it. So not sure yet. But that would be bad for the stock too, because that would be yet another milestone that Tesla would have missed. But then it would just push it down to Q4. So I don't know. We'll see. But that is something that we need. That's like the elephant in the room. It's the elephant in the room is like, what happens when this truck comes out? It's both going to tell us a lot about the future of Tesla. It's the first new product since the Model Y. And the Model Y is now the best-selling EV worldwide in its class. So if they hit another home run with the Cybertruck, that's a big tailwind for Tesla. And it's a headwind for a bunch of the other companies. Here, I'm going to just... share this. I'm gonna read a little bit of this. It's this screen.
Did anyone in the chat order Cybertruck or pre-order? Let us know.
I have one.
You pre-ordered it?
Yeah.
So but you don't know how much it's gonna cost yet. So
I don't know how much it would cost. Yeah, but whichever one it was, I would want the four motor.
Would you sell one of your models to?
Yeah, I would.
Interesting.
Okay, so here are the deal terms for Rivian, which by the way are not bad at all. Actually,
you're saying the terms for the loan, for the bond issue?
Yeah, check it out. So take a look at this. This is the term. This is the term. This is the loan right here. So basically, it's 1.5 billion in loans. It matures in 2030. So that's like the forced conversion time, and it converts it probably whatever the
stock price
rate is. Yeah. So right here, the notes will be senior unsecured debt. So unsecured debt means that there's no assets behind it. Right. It's just a guarantee by the company, right? So basically, the way that debt works is usually have first lien, like super priority lien debt, then you have second lien debt, then you have unsecured debt, and then preferred, and then it goes on, and then eventually at the bottom of it you're an equity holder, right? But this bond right now will accrue at an interest rate of 3.6%. So first of all, right now, if they went into the private debt markets to get this funding, it would cost them between, in my opinion, because based on their credit rating, probably between 9 and 12% per year. Because if you can get fixed treasuries for like 5%, that means that you're going to have to really juice up the yield. Price. Yeah, well, no, the yield on the bond in order to get the deal done. The other thing is this is a private placement, which means that there's already this is probably going to be offered to like institutional buyers, not really the mom and pop like retail investor. Like most retail investors don't really do their what is that thing called? Most retail investors don't typically do bonds anyway. So, but you see right here, the initial conversion rate is 42.92 shares of common per principal amount, which represents initial conversion price of approximately $23.29.
Wait, say it again. The initial conversion rate is 42 shares of common stock per 1,000 principal. No.
Yeah, so if you give them 1,000, you can convert that $1,000 into 42.9 shares, right? So that they're
at $18 now.
Yeah, so it comes out to $23.29. That's what it is. The initial conversion price represents premium of about 27 from last reported sale price.
So this isn't bad. This dip might have just been a really. I mean, this might be an opportunity if you really love Rivian. If you're getting,
I feel like this is throw those things out there to see how people react because you're secretly thinking maybe I should. I missed.
No, I don't give a shit about Rivian. I'm not touching that stock. I don't know.
What you're thinking is I missed out on the Tesla thing. Maybe
no.
So this is the way
I'm just saying if Chris is saying this is stupid, if you're into Rivian, 20% off for something that's a really dumb reaction, if that's what it is. It's not.
Well, not only that, but But there's two things. Number one, you're getting interest, right? So every year you could just own Rivian stock, and Rivian stock is not really going to give you any interest, right? So this debt will actually give you interest. So that's number one. So for institutional holders, getting a little bit of subsistence income is a good thing. So that's one, right? Number two, the conversion price stays the same no matter what. So that means that, let's say Rivian goes to $500 tomorrow.
You're still getting 42 shares.
Right. Exactly.
Look,
And that's what happened. That's what happened with Chamath. Chamath bought a shit ton of convertible debt on Tesla, and he made a crap ton of money that way. The other thing about this convertible debt offering is the low cost to Rivian in terms of having it means that they can take that 1.5 billion and arbitrage it by lending it out to their treasury, because they already have a cash pile for like 5.5%. So there's actually an arbitrage play, and not a lot of people really do this. I mean, usually institutional funds will do this, but there is an arb play when you have this. The way that you arb this is usually you buy the convertible debt and you short the stock. All right. And do you know why that works?
No.
You think actually short the stock, not even buy puts, actively short the stock.
Yeah. The way that you would structure it is that if you buy the convertible debt, right, you have access now to 42 point something shares for the $1,000 that you have. Now, let's say right now you took that and you shorted the stock. What happens is, remember, when you short the stock, it goes down in price, which means that's where you make money, right? Now, on the other hand, that convertible note offering that you have supersedes most of the equity holders. So, your money's relatively safe there. It's not 100% safe, but it's relatively safe there. Mm-hmm. So, but let's say the opposite happens. And let's say Rivian moons to like $200, right? You're fine, because those convertible shares actually act like a, what is that thing called?
Option.
Like a call option. So this way, what happens is, let's say Rivian goes to $200 and your short gets blown the fuck up. You're fine, because what happens is you can always convert the shares and then use that to pay back the shares that you sold. Yeah, the short position. So it's a very interesting way to do it. Now, I don't know if anyone's going to actually do it, but that is a thing that people have done in the past, and I know people that have done it successfully, where they've bought the stock, especially convertible stock, and then they just I'm sure that's what happened to Arcimoto too, if you think about it. Arcimoto and a lot of companies
towards the end, that's what they were doing.
Yeah.
They were issuing convertible notes. Yeah. And then they ended up having a reverse split, so it didn't end well.
The way that you can tell that a company is going to go bankrupt is, number one, when they issue debt like this, that's not usually a good sign. That means that something, I mean, usually, because what happens is a lot of people are capital constrained. So when you're capital constrained and you need to go into the debt markets, you're going to have to figure out how to not have to pay so much in interest charges, but at the same time, have enough interest in generating that capital. So it's a weird conundrum that a lot of companies put themselves in. But this is what I've seen in the past, and it's actually, I've done a couple of these plays. Like in 2014, I did one like this, where basically the debt is so overly, massively sold off. You can buy the debt super cheap, go to the company and said, look, you owe $100 of face value of this debt, right? Now you can buy it for like 5 cents on the dollar, 10 cents on the dollar. And then what you do is you buy up a whole bunch of it. So this way you have almost access to like $100 million.
This is what you did with that company that went under, right?
Well, yeah. I didn't do it. The guy, one of the hedge funds that does this did it. But basically what they did was they took almost like $500 million worth of debt. They bought the convertible debt. They went to the company and did a private deal saying, look, upgrade me to first lien debt. And what that'll do is it'll super give the first lien debt holders.
If they go out, you get paid first.
Right. Now, the thing is, though, they only bought this shit for 10 cents. And the offer that they made to the company was, hey, listen, we'll take 30 cents on the dollar. So basically they're just up right now 300% by buying up all this cheap debt. Right. So it's almost like buying up debt and then offering it back to the company. Now, the company, this is actually really good for the company because they're like, look, we have a negative $1 billion, like negative $500 million line item that now if we just basically convert the debt into a higher lien debt, we can eliminate 70% of that. So the company says, oh, this is a great idea. The problem is if the company doesn't perform, what ends up happening is the guys who have first lien debt, they walk away pretty much whole. And everyone at the bottom of the stack, like the unsecured debt, preferred holders, and equity, get holding the bag. Yeah. So
okay, let's move on because I know a lot of people are getting super like we don't know what the fuck Chris is saying, but that's high level shit. So if you
it's a bigger question about what does this say about Rivian's future as a company. We will do it. The market will be better if there's more competition, but I just don't think that we have seen what the real demand of these vehicles are, the Fords and the Rivians of the world, until there's an actual competitor from the number one EV maker in the space.
Yeah,
it's
Hyundai is doing the North American charging thing today as well.
I saw that. Yeah, there was another one too in Kia. I think it was
Kia,
both.
not yet. Kia.
I think it was both of them. There was two.
Oh, maybe both of them.
Two more automakers. And did you guys see they're building the supercharger drive-in movie diner?
Yeah,
in
LA, right?
I mean, this shit is I know we've been talking about this for a while, but these are the indications where you realize just how early we still are in Tesla. Although I was thinking about this the other day, I was thinking about like my Tesla position, and I'm like, I think I can only really reasonably expect a 2x from this point. The 4, 5, 6x.
What?
Because I was starting to
reasonably expect. Because everyone on Tesla Twitter tells me it's a $10 trillion. Farzad tells me it's a $20 trillion.
Yeah, but but we're talking about. I'm thinking of myself like a 2 to 3 year time frame. Although we talk a lot about all the time.
Carlos, I know you. You're not selling in 2 years. You love Tesla too much. Because they're gonna do the bot, they're gonna do something exciting. FSD, you're gonna be like, let me hold on.
I would definitely either trim or sell out of the position if I hit my numbers. But I'm thinking about the stock price. I'm thinking about, okay, so where's Tesla when we get say $2,000? Like, what's it gonna take to get to $2,000? But then you start doing the market cap numbers on that, and you say, okay, so we're at 800 billion, and it's at $250 right now. So you're looking at 10. It's got to be $8 trillion, let's say, to get to 2,000.
It actually goes into my next topic really well, but go ahead, continue.
You get what I'm saying? So you start doing the multiples on that. And if you're in crypto, you're always talking about market cap, right? So you're visualizing market cap and understanding what it takes to get there is something that just carrying over from the crypto space. I go, man, that's a lot of freaking money that needs to come in. And there's a lot of volatility up and down. So I'm saying, like, reasonably for me, like a 2 or 3x from this point. Like, basically, if it can equal the market cap of Apple, that's how I'm working my math backwards and saying, okay, what's the stock price there? And that's when I would start to really look to trim the position. But it's a lot. I mean, Tesla's going to have to do a lot for it to get there. But
okay, so let's transition to this, because this actually goes into everything you're saying, and Tesla might be a big point of your response to this question I have. Ticker symbol U put out a really good video today around ARK and Cathie Wood. He's down 140 grand or something investing in Cathie. And essentially,
what did he buy?
RKK, Teladoc, ARKG, all those. So right here, May of 2021, this is when it was at $104. Obviously, it was down from 156. This is when Cathie went on Bloomberg, and she basically told investors not to sell. She was like implicitly, she said, you're an idiot if you sell it at $104 in May of 2021. Okay, so now we see it at 39. She promised a 50% CAGR around this 2021 time for the next 5 years. Let me say 50%. Now we're here at 38. She is promising she went on an interview, I think 2 days ago. She's promising a 15% CAGR, and she's blaming interest rates for this over the next 5 years, which means if that happens, ARK will be at $84 in 2027. And she told you not to sell when it was at 104. So the question is, and this is an open-ended question to both you guys, do you think ARK can never recover back to that kind of 165 level? Do you think Tesla could maybe 20x again and get them there? Or do you think there's anything in their portfolio, I'll pull up their stocks in a second, that you think can get them back to that level that they were in 2021?
You want to lead this one off, Chris? And your name is spelled weird today. It's like your graffiti tag name.
Yeah.
KRIS1.
I don't know. I really stopped paying attention to Cathie Wood and her picks, because I think she's in and out of the positions too quickly for me to even keep a track of what is in her portfolio. So I don't know. And the thing is, like, a lot of the names that she goes with are very speculative. So I think what her strategy is the complete opposite of something like Warren Buffett, who uses more of a barbell strategy. Her strategy is just picking a lot of speculative names, hoping that one ends up outperforming the rest, and then that ends up becoming an excess returner. So like she had a lot of success in Tesla, and she's hoping that that there are other companies in her stable right now, like the from 2 to 11, one of those 5x's or 10x's or whatever, and so that makes up for the losses in the rest. So that's the strategy I think she's.
You don't think there's anything on this list that could beat a 15% CAGR over the next 5 years? Roblox.
It could. I can't say for sure, but in terms of valuation, like when she got in, I don't see her doing a lot of like risk. Well, like PagerDuty is a good one. Like I like PagerDuty. I actually checked
I've
them
never
out.
heard of PagerDuty. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. If you're working on call and IT, you'll know about.
Do they sell
PagerDuty,
pagers?
but no. It's scheduling software. No. No, there's like things like that like that's like a hidden gem among most of the ones that she has on there.
She has 211,000 shares of Meta. Oh wow.
I think there was at one point that she was buying. Yeah.
All right, Carlos, can Tesla save Cathie's promises or alleged promises to the investment community of 50%?
We discussed this briefly when we had Jeremy on the first time. This is what you're seeing there in our stock, her ETF performance, I think is a fundamental problem with having an ETF with a 5-year time horizon. Markets don't care about things 5 years from now. They fundamentally don't on a quarter by quarter basis. You would be better off looking at what she's buying and maybe buying those and holding those individual stocks yourself if you want to hold them, because you can't guarantee that you're going to get the exposure to the companies that you want by buying her ETF. The other thing too is if Tesla does run up, there is limits in terms of the percentage that can be of the portfolio, and she's going to be forced to sell.
She sold 25 million worth of it yesterday.
So no matter what, Tesla can never be more than 10% of the position for too long. So if it runs up a bunch, she's just going to end up selling it, right? And so at the same time, if you're trying to have exposure to those companies, you also need other people to be buying shares of her ETF in order for you to experience the growth. So the underlying companies can continue to perform, and you might not get any appreciation on holding the ETF because other people aren't buying in. To me, that's just it. I think her fund, or at least like the innovation fund, is probably 10 years too early. What would help is if she was buying companies that were already at $3, $4, $5 trillion, where they only have a 4 or 5% move. But if any of these companies, because they're so disruptively innovative, are subjected to a 20%, 30%, or 40% drop, how do you support an ETF on that, right? How do you tell people? How do you encourage people to buy if the underlying stocks are so vulnerable to massive moves like that? I think there's a fundamental issue with making an ETF on that front. The gains that she made were when nobody took her seriously and nobody knew what she was doing, right?
Yeah.
And now that it's all public, it's going to be very hard to operate, because in order for you to be disruptive, you have to see something that nobody else sees. But now you're telling everybody what you see with your buys.
I think the biggest problem is the Magnificent Seven were the innovative stocks this year. It was not Roku, and it was like Google and Nvidia and like
the $1 trillion, because it takes it's like these massive like these Goliaths. It takes a lot to bring them down. And a lot of times the market the market cares more about percent moves than they do 100%. About the actual money. So more money could be coming out of Apple, but if it's a 5% move, the market won't care on it as much, because the only thing that matters in terms of your investment is the percentage movement, not the amount of money that's coming out. So a 5% move in Apple could be way more money than what came out of RIVN today, but you're still down 1/5 of your position if 20% came out.
I mean, that's the key, right? When you have these moments where Mr. Market gets drunk, that's the problem with most investors. They're not patient with holding on to a cash-like position, because if you hold on to a cash-like position, you have the optionality when shit hits the fan, you have the ability to go in and buy stuff at a big discount, right? So that's why if you look at Buffett right now, he has something called a barbell strategy, right? So if you look at his portfolio, you've got extremely conservative stuff majority of this is his cash position, and really not much else. Then you've got not majority, but you've got a good amount of money in just safe, ultra safe stuff, treasuries, cash. I think he's probably got some debt also that he's probably bought
or
up
the
in his companies.
the Magnificent Seven, the companies.
Not
that are
really,
so
not
big.
really.
I
They're
would put them in
probably
that category.
Nah, I think they're probably more here in the boring middle because they're growing, but they're not growing like bananas like back in the day, right? So Apple would go here in this category. And then last but not least would be the extremely risky stuff. Like lately, I don't know if you guys know, but Buffett's was buying up a lot of Japanese investing houses over the last couple of years, and he did extremely well actually on those. So there was you guys know what I'm talking about?
No.
Japanese investment firms.
Talking about anime and shit.
No.
Investment companies.
Hold on, let me pull it up.
Bro, I need to fucking Carlos. You edit these Netflix comedy specials, right? Like, hook your boy up.
I don't even know. I don't even know if I can.
I need to break out of this finance. I gotta go for my dreams, bro. Like, I'm a different dude.
I might have met my match trying to make you funny, trying to actually make you funny.
So Buffett through Berkshire Hathaway was buying a lot of Japanese companies into them. So Japan has very few companies that are like, control a lot of their economy. So he was buying them up like Mitsubishi, Mitsui, Itochu, Marubeni, so Sumitomo. Sumitomo is actually one of the most famous ones. But basically, Buffett was using through his subsidiary buying a lot of this stuff up over the last couple of years, and he's doing actually fairly well. I guess you guys don't really track Japanese markets or anything like that, but Japan had ultra low interest rates that Buffett was able to buy into and then get the companies to improve their margins and do, I think, some share buybacks and all this other stuff. And, we did extremely well.
With his position in it, was he acting as a consultant?
I don't think he was acting as a consultant.
The size of his positions?
I think, I don't think it was like a consultant. I think it was more just like a confidence builder. So like the thing with Buffett is that Buffett's about confidence, right? Like right now, if Warren Buffett buys any stock, it instantly goes up by 20% because there's a certain level of confidence that comes with him. And also he sees value where others don't see it. Now, that doesn't mean that he doesn't have his own losers. Buffett has big losses in Paramount. Like, I don't know if you guys know that. He has a pretty big stake in Paramount, and Paramount's been getting crushed. But it's interesting with Paramount. I was actually watching 1883. Have you guys seen that show? No. 1883 is about. Have you guys heard Yellowstone by any chance? Yeah. Yellowstone's a
national park.
It's a TV show. It's a TV show. It's a really popular show. I really like it. So I was watching 1883 today, and I only have like Paramount Essentials, which gives me access to Paramount, but I have to watch ads in between. And I didn't realize how annoying fucking ads were because I don't really have to watch ads on any other platform right now.
Right.
But it made total sense now because you have two different categories of subscription. You've got people who have the ad-free version, and you've got the ones that have the ad version. And the ad version is probably monetizing like crazy. So they're raising prices on the ad-free version, but most people are going to be, doing the ad-free, the ad version. And I think and a lot of the other streamers are doing the same exact thing. So I think right now Paramount, I have to look at the numbers for Paramount. I'm not saying people go out and buy Paramount, but I'm going to do more DD on Paramount. I want to see how they can improve profitability, how they can cut costs, and go from there. And I think this could be a recovery play if they do it right.
Do we know how many subscribers they have? I think it's above 100 million. There's 61 million in 2023 August. Okay,
yeah,
that's not
I'm
bad.
a little biased. I know a lot of people that work for companies that now Paramount owns, and I have to say there's been a lot of blood, but overall the people that have stayed have said good things about the restructuring. They have said good things about the restructuring, the streamlining of the way that things are reported, and the way that they're allocating the funds and capital, the marketing side. So take that for what it is.
Yeah, I think there's a transition happening in the content space where everyone is trying to figure out what the best model going forward is to make sure that they can survive long term. Because right now, if you think about it, the only one that's making any money is Netflix. And the reason why they're making money is because they did three things. Number one, they cut down on password sharing, right? In certain countries and localities. I'm sure that wasn't a very popular decision, but it had to be made. Number two, they started raising prices. And number three, they did something which they never thought they would do, which was do an ad tier. And all of those things have helped it reach profitability. And so a lot of the other streamers, they're doing the same exact thing now. So I think there's a paradigm shift happening in the business model to figure out how they can actually monetize this stuff and survive. And with the union, the writer's strike over, I think, yeah, this will be an interesting development to see what happens. I still think that there's definitely has to be more consolidation in the sector before it becomes a really enticing opportunity to get in, with the exception of Disney, because Disney's just everywhere right now. But we'll see. We'll see.
I really think that that the customers and the studios should get together, and I think it'd be beneficial for the customers to have that same sort of cable bundled package that we once had. This idea of the multiple subscriptions is basically, I don't know that it's worked out.
Going to get there,
huh?
I feel like it's inevitably going to get there.
And I think it's and it would be someone like Apple that would do it. Apple would just make it simple. Sign up for this service, and we'll get you passwords, for all these accounts. Have it all on your device. Have it all on your Apple TV. That's where I think.
I think Amazon. I think Amazon does something like that, where you sign into Prime, you can actually subscribe to individual channels.
Someone in the chat was saying, like, if you pay for a Walmart subscription, CP Bisco, if you pay for Walmart subscription, you get Paramount for free, or I wouldn't even have it, right?
Yeah,
kind of how
I
it is
T-Mobile.
with Amazon Prime. But you're still paying for it, like that $100 or whatever that you're paying for your Amazon Prime. Like they're parsing that money out, and people are getting paid. So even that is sort of like an ETF of subscriptions, and I think that's what people need.
I'm doing the same thing. Like, I don't have a subscription to Paramount directly. It's through T-Mobile. So basically it gets rolled into my T-Mobile bill every month. So it's like just one consolidated thing. So right now my internet is T-Mobile. My cell phone plan is T-Mobile. My wireless streaming stuff, like some of the things, are T-Mobile. I even got a deal with HBO Max, where I have like a special pricing on because of T-Mobile. I mean, to be honest, the one that we really should be looking at probably is T-Mobile and Verizon, because they could probably leverage their users as internet service providers.
It would just be the same shit then in 2010, where you're paying through T-Mobile and Verizon.
But at the end of the day, I mean, that's what it is, right? We moved from the cable TV model to the internet like provider model, right? And so right now, I actually see a lot of potential in Verizon. I did a lot of homework on like 5G adoption, and it's just growing like crazy, and it's trading at multiples that make absolutely no sense.
Steve, our good friend Steve, is screaming at us every day to look at Verizon.
Did you guys get that? Did your guys' phone ring yesterday?
Yeah.
What was that all about? I don't think mine rang. Well, what time?
It's a thing they do every 5 years to test, like, if an alien invasion happened or some shit, the government could access everybody.
The speculation and conspiracy theories around that was hysterical. It was like the Y2K. I don't know. Were you alive in Y2K?
I mean, I learned about it. I was alive. I was 3 years old.
You were not. That's crazy. You were not alive for Y2K. I was in Times Square. We were waiting for the end of the world in Y2K when all the computers. Anyway, it reminded me so much of people were like, yo, there was some stuff that they put in the vaccines, and then the message is going to come out on the 4th. It's going to activate shit. People's brains are going to explode. I was like, they're like, put your phone in one of those bags that you put like the Dave Chappelle shows to keep it from connecting to the internet show. Like, oh my God. Oh, it was so good.
Dude, it was like for 2 seconds. And
Ren, yeah, I did. I overslept. That's what it was. But what happened? I didn't get an alert. I missed it. It's like
you probably got an alert, but you were asleep.
Yeah, but I would see it. You'd wake up and still see the alert. I was like, man,
it's funny they didn't do that during COVID. They didn't send that alert out to everyone saying like, hey guys, we're
like, you should be home. We're gonna call your house line, and you better pick up on the second ring. Who was sending the cops?
Damn. All right, let's do this one to close out. SEC suing Elon.
Yeah, it was
around how he bought Twitter.
And they're still trying to get him on that. It's so sad how they're coming after this guy.
The weaponization of the government entities in order to come after private individuals is crazy, man.
Yep.
It's like this is the same thing that's happening to the Trump team right now, where basically they're saying that he overinflated values of his properties and that was fraud and everything else. And I'm just, if you really look at the case, it really has no merit behind it. But
well, I heard it got thrown out on some sort of statutes of limitations, and then like the prosecutor was on the news.
80% of it, 80%,
yeah,
80%
of it is past the statute, which is like you could have known that just by looking at the dates. But
Hmm.
yeah, this is another example of that. Although Tesla stock has been incredibly resilient to this move. I mean, someone asked in the chat, is Elon getting canceled? A negative or a bear case for Tesla. I think part of the reason he bought Twitter was to make sure that he could never be completely canceled.
I agree 100%.
That was a total
strategic 44 billion is pretty cheap for freedom.
Pretty cheap to be able to be able to have some place where you can get the news out. And I think that's, we talk about what incentivizes, right? Founder operators. That's his incentive. Twitter cannot go under, because then he would effectively lose his voice. And it would also be like egg on his face. It would be horrible, right? If you bought this thing and you sent it, you tanked it when it was.
Dude, imagine he didn't have Twitter and he had to go on CNBC to announce.
He would get zero. He would get zero airtime. There would be nowhere for him to state his opinion or promote anything for his company. All these conversations that we would be having would be without him. He would be canceled. Like, imagine if Elon Musk was just gone off of Twitter right now. What would it look like? What would it be?
And bro, they were getting close to doing that shit in 2022. They were definitely getting close to getting rid of his ass. They got rid of Jordan.
That's why I think he was
rid of a lot of people for saying the wrong gender. Like they would get rid of Elon in a second.
He would be gone. Yeah. I mean, and for them, it would have been a stupid move, because he was he probably is the most followed person, even though there might be accounts that I think like Obama has more people, but he's not active. He was one of the most active people. Huh?
There's no engagement on those. Like Justin Bieber, Lady Gaga, there's no engagement there because they don't tweet anymore.
Yeah, they don't really tweet anymore. So yeah, they don't use it anymore. So it would have been bad for them, but I don't think they cared. I don't think Twitter cared about profitability. They just cared more about being about the message and driving the narrative. That's what I think that it was about. But
look at this. Elon tweets 51 times a day. That's a pretty active user.
That is pretty active.
Friday, he tweeted 185 times. Something happened on Friday, and he gets 120.
And he doesn't even own Palantir stock. I mean, Jesus. Because I see your 2 a.m. tweets in there.
No, those, bro. Okay, let me.
I woke up from a bad dream. It was
let me give you guys the inside scoop on why I have a video coming out every day at like 3 a.m. It's not because I'm awake. I just scheduled it in advance. Like I took a day in September. I scheduled 30 videos, one video every day from October 1st to the 30th, and it just goes out while I'm sleeping. So yeah, people are like, damn, Amit's up at 4 a.m. posting a video. It's like, no,
but are you saying on YouTube or
on Twitter? Because they're old videos, and I'm bringing it over to Twitter because Elon wants to post videos and shit. And so,
yeah.
How are
just
asking people in the chat, how are people finding? Are you guys watching more of your content? More video content on X? Do you find yourself watching and engaging more?
That's a good question. You guys,
my argument is that what it really needs is to have the timestamps, clickable timestamps with expandable.
They're working on it. They're going to figure that out soon.
If they figured that out, I really think that there's a case to switch entirely, because what happens? We have a conversation on YouTube. You respond to a few people underneath the YouTube comments, but most of the conversations about the videos or the topics happen on X. And I think that would be a real game changer to something like
the chat
Twitter.
Disagrees. They're on YouTube. Chris, what about you?
No, I like it. I like posting on Twitter. I started using, like the other day, I did that clip with the Wingstop thing because I was like, okay, how do I get like the thing across that we're good at doing DD, right? Like we want to get more people on to subscribe to Finance Junkies and, like try to see how we operate. And one of the ways I was like, okay, let me try a different platform, because if you just keep doing it on YouTube, your reach is limited to just the YouTube. And right now the algorithm with YouTube is if you don't hit the exact data points that you need, your video may never come across anyone's screen. At least with Twitter, there's a captive audience where, there's a lot more breakdowns coming. And also maybe someone is searching for Wingstop on Twitter. They just have to type in Wingstop, and one of the first videos that'll come up is the one that I put up there. Yeah. So it's interesting dynamic to diversify the social media platforms. So this way you're getting a wider breadth.
But here's the question: to call
the video tab.
A video tab. Yeah. So here that's my point. To replace YouTube, do you think Twitter can work without thumbnails and titles? Because quite frankly, I know we all hate them, but they are the epicenter of the ability for someone new to want to click into an experience and discover something. And I kind of think you need thumbnails and titles. So maybe a video tab would work on Twitter.
Like at the top of the screen where you have, what does it say? For you trending or whatever it is, a tab that's video. So all you see are video. All you see.
Then it would just look like YouTube, right? Like a copycat of YouTube at that point.
Yeah. And actually the real question is for the people that say that they predominantly get their video on YouTube. Is this mobile or are you using the web app?
It's mobile. 70% is mobile on YouTube.
70%. That's interesting. Most of my viewing of YouTube and on X is web-based.
Well, you're on a computer all day, so that makes sense.
Yeah, and I feel like that's the better space because then you know if you think about it, like your TV screen, you can have way more thumbnails, and I could see it having like 3 different sections. So even in a video tab, you could have multiple feeds of video in it. There's better use of space. But if more people are on mobile, then you still see the thumbnails. It's not like you don't see the thumbnails. You still see the thumbnails, the title, and you get a description about it on X. Yeah.
So this was the video that I posted basically. So if you look at it, let's say
you play the audio to that, I'm gonna hit you with a copyright claim, bro. That's my likeness.
So let's say someone just types in Wingstop. What's gonna happen is that in the suggestion things, because not a lot of people talk about Wingstop, it's gonna show up here. So you're gonna be able to get a lot
typing
of
it. Sign out. It's you typing it. So if you sign out of X and then try to search,
they won't let you.
Will you get the same?
I don't
log out. Let's try it. No, I don't. You can't. You can't log in.
Yeah, you can't do shit. They used to let you search, but they don't.
Just do it in a Google search. Search on Google Wingstop, Twitter, and see what you get. See video and click the video tab and see if you get that result. Then it might even take you to a sign-in page, but you should at least be able to see what it is.
No, I don't know.
So most people are on. Most hate the website version, really.
Yeah, the website version is not good.
See, but the broader problem with Twitter trying to win in this ecosystem, and this is it's not Elon's fault, but it is a problem with the platform. The content on Twitter dies within seconds. It is not a platform that gives life to content over many, forget days, months, or years. On YouTube, I scroll through 5 videos every day that were posted 10 years ago, legitimately, that are interesting.
Yeah.
And like Twitter hasn't figured that out. And maybe because honestly, in your feed, do you really want some random thumbnail or title from 5 years ago? Like on Twitter, you're meant for like the here and the now, the moment, which is why it's such a demanding platform to grow on. Because if you're not tweeting every day, you kind of don't grow.
But that I think is a function of it being young because most people are not uploading their videos directly to. No,
but Twitter. Even if they did, Twitter would have to index like a financial, like that Chamath Palihapitiya clip we put on YouTube got 2,000 views, and that was a 20-minute clip outside of the podcast. Would Twitter have the algorithms to be able to recommend that Chamath Palihapitiya clip to 2,000 people and give it 20,000 impressions because you have like a 10% click-through rate to get people to click on it randomly on a Wednesday in June? Like, I don't think Twitter is built like that. They get 100 million.
But I don't think Twitter has the back end like AI to be able to get the transcript. That's what YouTube knows more about the video that you upload than X knows about the videos that you upload.
I mean, that's all software. They can figure that out. That's not hard.
That's my point. I don't know if Twitter, the platform, is meant for that use case.
But the thing is, the solution here is very simple. The solution is you create a separate website that does nothing but does video hosting, or you buy a video hosting website. And this way, what happens is it has links to Twitter. So basically, Twitter is the discovery engine. And what happens is when you click on it, it leads you to that website. That website does all the monetization. Like, you know how like you have
Twitter. Yeah, but now what you're talking about is it's like an RSS feed. That's basically what you're saying. It's like an RSS feed. But
no. It's not an RSS feed. No. It's like a Twitter owned. Like if Twitter bought Rumble today, essentially they would pump a fuck ton of Rumble links on the platform and get you on Rumble, and they would monetize Rumble while using Twitter. But I don't think Elon wants that. He wants everything inside the app, right?
The everything app. Well, it can, you can see how it could get there, but it's not there yet.
It's not there. But my point is philosophically, I don't know if the platform is meant. Like Facebook's not meant to watch, that Chamath Palihapitiya clip. I don't know if Twitter's meant.
They certainly tried. I mean, that was the idea behind.
They tried.
Watch, and it was a failure. Yeah. But what that required, that's part of what I think the rebranding of it, like making it X. You really have to you have to change it. It physically has to look and feel different for people to accept that it is something different.
Honestly, bro, I've been thinking about the rebrand a lot nowadays. I think it was a mistake.
What, that to make it
X?
I
think the X sounds so fucking stupid every time I say it. X.com sounds like a porn website. Like Twitter, the brand, I get it had all the censorship stuff, but like he could have cleaned it up. Twitter is such a beautiful name.
I have to agree with you on that.
The logo is so dumb. It's just an X, like
I agree with you on that. And when I'm at the office now, anytime I try to type, say if you try to type x.com, it's blocked by the content moderations because it's too close to something.
What's
So,
really
look, I agree
what's
with
really
you, yeah.
what's really dumb about the whole Twitter thing is that you don't get any value from being considered x.com. Like I don't understand a single benefit that you would get from that. And now even like commentators when they're on CNBC, they have to say, "Oh, you know, blah
X,
blah blah
formerly
posted
known
on as Twitter." Yeah.
formerly
you
known as
know.
Twitter, and they'll be that for a while. But I think this is because we don't see what the end game is yet. This is again
That's true. That's true.
We don't see the end game because we've discussed this before, that we see divisions between Elon's different companies, but he doesn't. They're all one big ecosystem to him. He's operating one massive ETF. So X.AI is the name of the AI company.
What's going on with that? Is that even like a?
It's a thing. I mean, listen, they're doing that thing on the side, but it's like the only parts of the AI that we see is we talk about FSD and we talk about the robot, but we don't see what they're doing over at X.AI. Then you have X, the Twitter app, the payment system, the YouTube thing. Did you see what he posted a while ago about recruiting?
No, they're gonna smash with recruiting. I mean, they're gonna do great with that.
And so it's like it's kind of taking on.
They're gonna take on LinkedIn, yeah.
So the end game in 10 years maybe. That's something that could be a really long roadmap, 5 to 10 years before you really see that fleshed out. And then you get the people that come into the ecosystem long after who've forgotten about Twitter. It's like talking about MySpace. Like I remember when we all first switched over to Facebook from MySpace, we were still comparing it to MySpace for a long time. And then after a while, you just stop talking about MySpace. It's kind of like when a stock splits. You know how like in your head, you're still doing the math of what the share price actually is based on the old thing till 6 months or 2 quarters, then you forget about what it was pre-split. But there's always that period of getting adjusted to it. Oh wait, I think my wife's texting me that we gotta go. No.
Yeah, we gotta end it here anyway.
We gotta go pick
All
up.
right, guys, this was a good one. This is Thursday, last one of the week. So we'll see you guys on Sunday. We'll try to get a guest for Sunday, and we'll have someone come through.
Yeah, I'm hoping to get my buddy to come in. He's it started a conversation we never finished our argument, Chris, about the bot. So I'm bringing in the big boys. He was watching our episode. No, he was watching our episode on the way to the office, and he was asking us about he's like, what do you guys know about putting chips onto like the optic nerve? And I was like, what do you mean? Were you watching the Finance Junkies episode? And he's like, yeah. He goes, I'm actually looking at brain waves. So he was talking about the different ways that they get information from the brain on what the brain is doing based on like the low electrodes on the head versus like in the brain. So he's like, that's literally what I do for a living. I was like, hey, would you come on the podcast and like speak to that, the difficulty of it and whatnot, and ease Chris's fears that he's going to have a robot come to his house with a baseball bat and try to beat him up. So
wait, what do you guys before we leave, what are you guys eating for dinner tonight?
I told you what I'm eating for dinner.
Oh yeah, you told me. Chris, did you eat dinner or are you gonna eat dinner?
Not yet. I'll probably tell the wife to bring me something. So
notice how he said that. I'm gonna tell the wife.
Make me a sandwich. Like, you're not
make me a sandwich.
No, get me a sandwich from Chick-fil-A. That's what you need to do. I'm sure she won't mind. I'm almost certain she won't mind. She'll be like, sure, let's do it. You know.
All right, everybody. We'll see you on Sunday.
All right.
Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Later.
Bye.